Welcome family, friends, loved ones, and faculty to the 2014 Nursing Pinning Ceremony. We are so glad you could join us. There is no doubt that it has been a long road, but today is the day we are able to come together and celebrate all that we have been through and accomplished as a class. Throughout this ceremony, we will reflect over the past years and look to the future with bright hopes. As we begin, our first presenter is the Dean of Nursing, Dr. Whittrack.
On behalf of the faculty, who you see most of over here, and also the staff who work diligently behind the scenes to ensure that these students are also here, we too would like to welcome you to this ceremony of the pinning for the class of 2014. As the healthcare delivery system is being redesigned, there's never been a better time to have young, fresh, old, fresh, new eyes on what we need to accomplish. We need nurses for the sick. We need nurses for the almost sick. We need nurses for the I hope I'm not sick. And we need nurses for the I really don't want to be sick and I'm determined to stay healthy folks. And those people are in many different places than we've seen nurses historically. We know that with looking at our healthcare outcomes for the United States, the nurses are going to be a big part of redesigning and reinventing how we can have better outcomes. We will be watching these folks. We will be watching them to see what they bring to this new situation, and I would like to encourage them to keep asking questions like, why do we do things this way? Why couldn't we do this? Because that's the only way we're going to get to the new place. So again, welcome, and let's congratulate all of these students.
Thank you, Dr. Whittrack. Now, Professor Beth Donahue will lead us in a prayer.
Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me to lead you in prayer. Let us pray. God, thank you for the blessings of this day, for these fine new nurses, ready and willing to do your most important work. As they embark on this new beginning, help them to recognize you in each patient they encounter. With each sunrise, may they find meaning and purpose for their day. On the days that are difficult, may they feel your loving presence and counsel. On the days that are joyous, may they remember to give you thanks. With every challenge, help them to grow in faith, character, and ability. Help them to listen with their hearts as well as their ears, to respond with compassion and empathy. Guide them to live their lives grounded by the Benedictine values that they have learned within these walls, and to lead by this example. Finally, we, the faculty, thank you, God, for the precious gift of allowing us to be a part of these graduates' lives. Keep them safe in their life journeys and bring them home to us often.
Thank you, Beth, for those encouraging words. For our faculty keynote speaker, here's Dr. Tanner, who has been a part of the St. Scholastica community and a faculty member for 43 years.
Good afternoon. It is a pleasure for me to be here at the Senior Pinning Recognition Ceremony for 2014. First of all, we're in the middle of National Nurses Week, so I'd like to congratulate all nurses who might be in the audience and those who are joining our ranks for the first time. We're also in the last day of National Teachers Week, so if there's any teachers other than my friends behind me, congratulations to you too as well. First of all, I'd like to thank the class for this opportunity to address you. It is an honor for me to do so. And having to put my thoughts in writing gives me the opportunity to reflect on my own career in the nursing profession. As Kate said, the class of 2014 is going out with me. I'm retiring in a few short weeks. While cleaning a few of my files and preparing for this presentation, I came across a folder called Fun Stuff. And in it were some materials I've collected about my friend Winnie the Pooh, since I'm a big fan of his and he has lots of wisdom, even though he calls himself a bear of little brain. And so I've called this presentation the Expedition of 2014. Expedition is Winnie the Pooh's word for a special adventure. It's like an expedition, but it's much more fun. At the end of the book, The House on Pooh Corner, Christopher Robin has gathered with his friends in the enchanted place at the top of the forest. He knows he has to move on with his life, and there won't be as much time to get together with his friends. He's afraid of change, too. And in the book, quote, they all said hello and felt awkward and unhappy suddenly because it was a sort of goodbye they were saying, and they didn't even want to think about it. Senior recognition pinning is kind of like that. It's a time to get together. You feel like you're at the top of the world with graduation so close tomorrow. But it's also a bit frightening, thinking about a new job, new relationships, and for some of you, being far away from home. And so this is what I thought we could talk about today. I especially like the theme that I was told is called Nursing is a Work of Heart, because as Pooh would say, it's short and it doesn't use big words. So I often ask students, what really is nursing? How would you describe it to someone who didn't have a clue what it was about? Nursing can be a noun and a verb. The question is, how do we define it? How do we carry it out? And what implications does it have for any one of us? In reflecting on this theme, I decided to look at nursing from 3 different perspectives, from the views of the spiritual, nursing, and mythical. And in order to do this, I focused on the written works either written by or about 3 varied individuals I consider central to this theme. The first person I'd like to focus on is Florence Nightingale, viewed as the founder of modern nursing. Miss Nightingale's definition of nursing stated that, quote, nursing is an art, and if it to be made an art, it requires as exclusive a devotion, as hard a preparation as any painter's or sculptor's work. For what is the having to do with dead canvas or cold marble compared with having to do with the living body, the temple of God's Spirit? It is one of the fine arts. I had almost said the finest of the fine arts, end quote. And Nightingale adds further, our vocation is a difficult one. And though there are many consolations and very high ones, the disappointments are so numerous that we require all our faith and trust. But that is enough. I have never repented or looked back, not for one moment. In other words, nursing is work, and it's hard work. But what makes nursing a work of the heart? In his Rule of Benedict, chapter 36 on the care of the sick, St. Benedict states that, quote, care of the sick must rank above all else so that they may truly be served as Christ who said, I was sick and you visited me. What you did for one of these least of my people, you did for me. Essentially, he is saying that to serve the sick is to serve the Christ. The same thing is echoed by Miss Nightingale, who said that at the age of 17, she felt a calling from God for a special mission, although at that time she did not know what that calling was going to be. In Benedictine spirituality, care for the sick is to be done with faith, attention, and with a care beyond the technical. Nothing is to be spared for the patient's sake. And so Benedict, like Nightingale, is telling us that the vocation of nursing is indeed a very special calling, a gift. And this is where the heart of nursing comes in. Nursing comes from the heart, from our core. While Nightingale speaks to the nurse's need for devotion to the profession, Benedict asks us to use attention and a depth of soul and love for our patient's sake. And in order to be devoted, we need to be open and willing to feel the call that is within us, the center of ourselves, and to listen to that voice within. So we've talked about nursing, and it's a lot of hard work, and it requires a level of care for all our patients that comes from within. A feeling of spirituality, not necessarily a religious faith, that allows us to reach to our very soul as we form a relationship with those we care for. And in order to care for others, we have to first learn about and to care for ourselves. And so the third person I'd like to talk about is someone with tremendous understanding that I mentioned previously, Winnie the Pooh. Pooh does call himself a bear of little brain, but he really has provided us with a lot of wisdom that we can all apply to our chosen vocation. And he says, "How can you get very far if you don't know who you are? How can you do what you ought if you don't know what you've got? And if you don't know which to do of all the things in front of you, then what you'll have when you are through is just a mess, without a clue of all the best that can come true, if you know what and which and who." Like St. Benedict, Pooh reminds us that we need to discover who we really are, what our talents are, and what we'd really like to do in life. So the question is, what is important in your life? All three of these people I talked about, Nightingale, St. Benedict, and Pooh, remind us in their writings that life is short and we don't have time to waste time. Some things in life are important while others simply are not. You need to learn to let go of your fears and find inspiration in your work of nursing that comes from the heart. You need to establish your own personal code to live by in order to create the life you want. And will you give yourself permission to listen to the voice within and go the way you choose? That is what I ask you to do as you close this chapter of life as an undergraduate nursing student. Let go of your fears and find out who you really are. Listen to that call from within and from without so you can determine what it is you ought to do. And then just give it all you've got. In another book related to Pooh, there's a poem, actually a song called Piglet's Song, that really speaks to part of this theme too. Let's find a way today that can take us to tomorrow. Excuse me. We'll follow that way, a way like flowing water. Let's leave behind the things that do not matter, and we'll turn our lives to a more important chapter. Let's take the time and try to find what real life has to offer, and maybe then we'll find again what we had long forgotten. Like a friend true till the end, it will help us onward. The sun is high, the road is wide, and it starts where we are standing. No one knows how far it goes, for the road is never ending. It goes away beyond what we have thought of. It flows away, away like flowing water. And so here we are, just like Pooh, with his friends in the enchanted place at the top of the forest. It's time to move on and to leave, at least physically, some of our closest friends and familiar places. Indeed, it is an end, but it is a beginning as well. Graduates, I pray that each and every one of you find that special place within your heart to carry out the hard yet rewarding work of nursing. And never, ever forget your nursing and Benedictine roots, but remember from where you came as a graduate of St. Scholastica School of Nursing. I am a graduate as well, and these roots have served me all these years. And so, on behalf of all your faculty, friends, and family, I would like to give the graduates some final words from Pooh. If ever there is a tomorrow when we're not together, there is something you must always, always remember. You are braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, and smarter than you really think. But the most important thing is, even if we are apart, we will always be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Tanner. I can't believe 4 years has already passed. It's really, really surreal. I remember many nights poring over books, lots of coffee breaks, lots of laughs, lots of tears, mostly laughs, but a lot of tears. So while I was searching in the internet, while I was probably supposed to be studying for my final exam that I took yesterday, I came across this list of nursing school survival rules that I thought were really funny and good, a good reflection on our time in nursing school. So number 1, what happens in clinicals stays in clinicals. Number 2, if it's wet and it's not yours, use gloves. When in doubt, wash your hands. If it moves, ambulate. If it doesn't, turn and reposition every 2 hours. Thou shalt not cross thy sterile field. If you didn't document it, you didn't do it. On tests, this is my favorite, on tests, the correct answer is airway, potassium, or hand hygiene. The instructor and the textbook are always right, even when they disagree. Schedules will change at least 3 times, and that's okay. Coffee, Coke Zero, and chocolate are vital. So that was kind of funny. So now, what are we doing? So now here is Bianca Aspen, who will be singing You Will Never Be Alone.
you. It is encouraging to know that we will never be alone because we are part of a great family like St. Scholastica. And now, Paula Byrne, the chair for the Traditional Undergrad Nursing Program, with the history of the pins.
Good afternoon. I think you can see that there is a theme that nursing is hard work and yet you're not alone. So I don't know if that was a planned theme or if it's just something that is a truth and is being told. So I'm here to tell you in the audience and also you students what is the history of the nursing pin. Today, you're ready to receive your nursing pin from your faculty as part of the final transition that you're experiencing. You or your family may wonder what the significance of the nursing pin is. What's the history around nursing pins, and more specifically, this pin? Originally, the first professional nursing students were identified by their uniforms, and upon graduation from nursing school, their caps. Professional colleagues knew if you were a first-year student by the number of bars on your uniform. They could tell what school you graduated from by the shape of your nursing cap. As men began to be more integrated into nursing, the profession needed a new way to identify and celebrate receiving your professional degree. A more formal recognition was introduced by giving new graduates a nursing pin that was unique to each school. If you noticed during your clinical rotation, many of your faculty continued to wear the pins they received on their professional attire. Today, this tradition continues. You will receive your pin from the College of St. Scholastica. 58 years ago this spring, the first class of students received the pin that you will receive today. It was designed by Frank Kackmark, and it is a distinctive mark of graduates of the College of St. Scholastica. When you receive this pin, you will notice that the central feature is a cross. Between the arms of the cross are the letters CSPB, which in Latin are the first letters of the words Crux Sancte Patre Benedicti, Cross of Holy Father Benedict. The cross is open between the horizontal and the vertical bars, and there's a small line at the bottom, which represents a shaft of light moving through the open space. The open design reminds us that we are both givers and receivers of light. This design invites us to place ourselves in the open space, to identify ourselves with those who suffer, and to recognize that we ourselves are sometimes wounded healers. Or as Diane Johnson would have told you, it's a time to center. This pin forever marks you as a graduate of the nursing program, our nursing program. You are welcome to wear your pin to your graduation tomorrow and each day thereafter when you're practicing your profession. Congratulations, future colleagues.
Thank you, Paul. That was very insightful. Now is our very own Sister Beverly Rawe who will bless our pins.
As Paula said, the cross that you will receive is an emblem that represents the Benedictine tradition. Excuse me. And so, in the light of that pin and the message that she gave to you, I offer the following prayer of blessing for the pins and also for our graduates. God, giver of all life, we praise and thank you for the energy and enthusiasm of the graduates of 2014. We honor them and ask your blessing as they prepare to be bearers of your light to those they will serve. Graduates, may the pins you receive remind you that your call to be a nurse is a privilege, given that you may care for others with compassion and respect. As nurses of the College of St. Scholastica, May you guide others in their journey to greater wholeness in body, mind, and spirit. And may you have the strength and courage to walk with others in their times of pain and suffering, offering them support and encouragement, mindful of the words of Saint Benedict, that care of the sick must come before and above all else. May our Brother Benedict and Sister Scholastica inspire you to be radiant messengers of the love of learning, the grace of hospitality, and the power of justice in your service to others. We ask you, God, to bless these pins and all who will proudly wear them. And I bless them now. This is holy water from the fountain in the chapel. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. And just for you, too. Thank you, sister.
Asante sana, Sister Beverly, which hopefully is thank you very much in Swahili. Okay, yeah, good. All right, now Dan Ledeen, our senior speaker and fellow graduate, has a few words he'd like to say. But first, Dan, would you like to hear a joke?
Absolutely.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Hippa.
Hippa who?
Sorry, I can't tell you that.
So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Danny Ledeen, and welcome to this joyous occasion. It is of great honor to be speaking here today as I represent the nursing class of 2014. Thank you, guys. Now, before we start, I'd like to share with each and every one of you that I'm currently experiencing a lot of tachycardia and diaphoresis. Now, in layman's terms, my heart is racing and I'm sweating. So today, I'd like to speak about these three things: the past, the present, and the future. In these past 4 years, we have sacrificed a lot: time, money, and of course, sleep. And in those sacrificial days, it was nerve-wracking, exciting, educational, and I know everybody can vouch for this one, scary. I can recall some fond memories of not knowing if I was going to pass a class or fail an exam, but we made it. We are resilient, and we have learned what hard work truly means. And in those sacrificial days, we have developed lifelong memories that will be talked about for years to come. And we have developed enduring relationships that will last a lifetime. Also, in these past 4 years, I think we have studied just about every ology under the sun: biology, sociology, psychology, etc. We might not have wanted to, but I kept remembering my academic advisor's words. You don't have a choice. It builds character. And it'll broaden your horizons for the real world. By golly, those academic advisors were right. It took me a while to realize it, but after reflecting on my education, all my courses have taught me not what to think, but rather how to think. And with that being said, we are fortunate to be able to think on our own and in turn become leaders in our professional and civic lives. Now, all these achievements have brought us to the present moment. And in this present moment, we've earned our bachelor's degree, which is a massive milestone in life. As a matter of fact, I went to Wikipedia. I'm at a very accredited site last night. And according to Wikipedia, approximately 30% of the United States population has a bachelor's degree. So, be proud in your success. It is not just that you have started the race, it is that you have finished it. So let's all take a minute and center ourselves, like Diane would say, and be grateful for the determination, perseverance, and strength that has brought us here today. So I'd like to congratulate my classmates as we have officially graduated from an accredited registered nursing program. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's make sure when we get the chance to thank those in front of you, to the sides of you, and behind you, and of course above you, as they have played a large part in your success here today. It's a proud moment. So, last but not least, as I look into the future, a quote I learned in middle school comes to mind. It was attributed to a great statesman, Benjamin Franklin. He said, "There are two guarantees in this life, and that is death and taxes." Well, he's exactly right. But I'd like to add a third guarantee to Mr. Franklin's list, and that is adversity. Nobody goes unscathed from adversity. It is just bound to happen, like it or not. Sometimes unexpected things occur. We don't get the dream job or graduate school of our dreams. A patient of ours dies, or a dear one to us passes. We suffer defeat and think the end is near. Not true. It is only the beginning. In my experience, I've discovered that some of the most profound gifts in life come in the worst gift wrapping. In retrospect, you may wonder why things happened the way they did, but don't become resentful. Instead, try to find lessons to be learned, because they can be found. With that being said, let's make sure we give each day as it may be our last, because we never know what's around the bend. So let's keep one eye on our feet and the other to the future. I'm going to leave you with a few quips that I've learned and have helped make a lot of sense in my life over the years. And they, as followed. It's nice to have an important title, but it is more important to be nice. Open minds will open doors. And lastly, as we conduct our patient care, we have to touch a heart before we touch a mind. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Now is for the presentation of the pins. We would like to invite the presenting faculty to the podium at this time. And the first group can go line up over there. And please hold your applause until each group is done getting their pins. Thank you.
Lucas Adam, to be pinned by Sandy Adam and Bernice Keeney, mother and grandmother. Brooke Adams, to be pinned by Elaine Adams, mother. Hannah Auberg, to be pinned by Ken and Michelle Auberg, parents. Brianna Anderson, to be pinned by Brenda and Sam Anderson, parents. Margaret Bear, to be pinned by Ellen and Paul Christofferson, parents. Elena Benzinger, to be pinned by Kayla and Jenna Benzinger, sisters. Jessica Bergman, to be pinned by Darren and Marlis Bergman, parents. Kirsten Betzold, to be pinned by Glenn and Mel Betzold, parents. Misha Bozajiva, to be pinned by Benny and Biser Bozajiva, parents. Alexandria Brandt, to be pinned by Randy and Deb Brandt, parents. Ashley Brule, to be pinned by Kathy Haynes and John Brule, parents. Maggie Bungert, to be pinned by Marcia Bungert, mother. Sarah Burdick, to be pinned by Brenda and Dwayne Burdick, parents. Shannon Carlson, to be pinned by Brian and Mary Carlson, parents. Stacy Kolova, to be pinned by Phil and Pam Kolova, parents. Alyssa Cordy, to be pinned by Mike and Kathy Cordy, parents. Carolyn Cornelius, to be pinned by Mary Sheets and Vicky Cornelius, sister and mother. John Cutshall, to be pinned by Roger Schober, grandfather. Ashley Dyke, to be pinned by Carol Dyke, mother. Michelle Dulandrew, to be pinned by John Dulandrew, father. Abigail DeVries, to be pinned by Brian and Mary DeVries, parents. Jamie Dickey, to be pinned by Kim and Dale Dickey, parents. Emily Doman, to be pinned by Luke and Donna Doman, parents. Samantha Doomer, to be pinned by Brandon and Rebecca Marsha, parents. Camille Ebinger, to be pinned by Steve and Kathy Ebinger, parents. Paula Farnham, to be pinned by Jenny Macy and David Farnham, parents. Nicole Forster, to be pinned by Robert and Darcy Forster, parents.
Becky Fox, to be pinned by Rita Fox. No? Oh, we need to line up for our next group, I guess. I am the comic relief. So that's group one. I didn't get the memo. I didn't get the memo page. It's so sour. Are we ready? In the line. We're almost there. All right, let us begin our next group. Becky Fox, presented by Rita Fox and Lori Fox, grandmother and mother. Ryan Gallagher, presented by Mike and Tiffany Gallagher, mom and dad. Sarah Gleason, presented by Paul and Brenda Gleason, father and mother. Kristen Glumack, presented by Rob and Patty Jo Glumack, parents. Kayla Gorehouse, being pinned by Caitlin Gorehouse, her sister. Sophia Graham, being pinned by Stephen and Jill Graham, parents. Christian Hall, being pinned by Larry and Jean Hall, parents. Megan Hepikoski, being pinned by Mary and Dan Hepikoski, parents. Leah Herman, being presented by Michael Martini and Cecilia Dodge, father and stepmother. April Heeb, being presented by Nancy Heeb and Patrick Areola, mother and boyfriend. Amy Hill, being presented by Brenda Bracken and Dane Bowes. Grandma. Erica Himes, being pinned by Jason and Greta Himes, parents. Laura Hoffman, being pinned by Rick and Michelle Hoffman, parents. April Jacobson, being pinned by Michelle Swanson. Amanda Johnson, being pinned by Mike and Carmen Johnson, parents. Lindsay Kingsbury, being pinned by Perry and Sherry Kingsbury, father and mother. Caitlin Konetsko, being pinned by Teresa Konetsko, mother. Caitlin Cottsmith, being pinned by Randy and Karen Cottsmith, parents. Katie Kramer, being pinned by Dave Kramer, Terry Edberg, parents. Samantha Lambrecht, being pinned by Ron and Lori Lambrecht, parents. Alicia Laporte, being pinned by Jeff and Lisa Laporte, parents. Dominic Lauer, being pinned by Mike and Deanna Lauer, parents. Nursing school is hard, but I didn't know it was that hard. Daniel Ladine, being pinned by Mary and Mark Ladine, parents. Sean Leonbarn, being pinned by Deb and Kyle Leonbarn, parents. Camille Lenzen, being pinned by Mark and Patty Lenzen, parents. Let's give this group a hand.
I want to see if I wrote my parents' last names on here.
Our next graduate, Julie Loscheider, being pinned by her parents, Mary and Bob Loscheider. Amy Lothenbach, being pinned by her mom and dad, Doug and Bernie Lothenbach. Whitney Love, being pinned by her mother, Victoria Johnson. Destiny Lovelet, being pinned by her parents, Wade and Cindy Lovelet. James Martimo. I didn't have a name. My beautiful Juju. I'm sorry. Alyssa Pearson, being pinned by dad and mom, Steve and Ruth Demaray. Sorry, Alyssa. You were probably in line under P, weren't you? Yeah, okay. Krista Perushek, being pinned by her mother, Lori Perushek. I'm sorry, you guys. The names were front and back. I didn't know that. That's why everybody's out of order. Excuse me. But go ahead. This is Krista Perushek. Go ahead. And then I'll go back to the M's. So Brent, are you there? I'm sorry to keep you waiting, Brent. Next is Brent Martin, being pinned by his mother, Chris Martin. Good job. Emily Martin, being pinned by her parents, Nancy and David Martin. Alec Martinson, being pinned by his mother, Cindy Martinson. Jordan Matson, being pinned by her parents, Jim and Kathy Matson. Jamie McGowan, being pinned by her mother and brother, Jackie Nadeau and Shane McGowan. Laurel Ohaju, being pinned by her father and mother, Dr. Vincent and Anne Ohaju. Mark O'Keefe, being pinned by his parents, Kevin and Mary O'Keefe. Kathleen Fifley, pinned by her mom and sister, Martha and Elizabeth Fifley. Estee Piguet, pinned by dad and mom, Claude Piguet and Bonnie Espenson. Sarah Pleckenpaul, being pinned by parents Lee and Penny Pleckenpaul. Sierra Poe, pinned by mother Teresa Poe. Kirsten Pohl, pinned by her mother Cindy Nelson. Daniel J. Porter, pinned by parents Francesca and Neil Porter. Corey Powers, pinned by her parents Rod and Carla Powers. John Ryder, pinned by parents Dan and Julie Ryder. Jessica Rivard, pinned by her parents, Tim and Lisa Rivard. Angela Shaleski, pinned by her father and mother, Bobby and Jane Shaleski. Carrie Schmidt, pinned by father and mother, John and Connie Schmidt. Shannon Schneider, pinned by parents, Rodney and Diana Schneider. Samantha Schultz, pinned by parents Jeff and Mary Schultz.
Last group can come and line up, please. Okay, our next graduate is Tiana Seeley, being pinned by her fiance, Garrett Erickson. Mariah Sis, being pinned by her parents, Julie and Steve Sis. Christopher Solar, being pinned by his parents, Robert and Cindy Solar. Kristen Sorensen, being pinned by her dad and mom, Wes and Cindy Sorensen. Russell Spry, being pinned by his parents, Tom and Carol Spry. Kara Stang, being pinned by her parents, Ted and Patty Stang. Casey Sucra, being pinned by her dad and mom, Steve and Pat Sucra. Samuel Swanson, being pinned by his ma and pa, Diane and Terry Swanson. Rayanne Swadine, being pinned by her parents, Ricky and Shelley Swadine. Alexandra Sweeney, being pinned by her grandparents, Don and Darlene Borgiero. Megan Toma, being pinned by her parents, Mike and Lori Toma. Ryan Tolerud, being pinned by his parents, Mark and Sherry Tolerud. Derek Toms, being pinned by Marshall and Jill Toms. Savannah Trikel, being pinned by her parents, Tyler and Jana Trikel. Angela Tomini, being pinned by her parents, John and Carol Tomini. Karen Van Overmaren, being pinned by her parents, Tim and Marie Van Overmaren. Erin Weatherly, being pinned by her parents, Tammy Weatherly and Vance Mahoney. Caitlin Wegerson, being pinned by her parents, Karen and Pat Wegerson. Jordan Weiler, being pinned by her parents Mike and Chris Weiler. Annie Weir, being pinned by her mother Joanne Weir. Logan Williamson, being pinned by Ben and Judy Williamson. Rebecca Wilmot, being pinned by her parents Debbie and Jim Wilmot. Lauren Wilson, being pinned by her mom and dad, Paul and Pam Wilson. Kelsey Wright, being pinned by her parents Skip and Cheryl Wright. Megan Yunker, being pinned by her parents Rick and Sue Yunker. Felipe de Jesus Zatina Batista, being pinned by Larry and Joanne Lahinger. Leah Zimmerman, being pinned by her mom and dad, Andrea and Todd Zimmerman. And Tyler Zern, being pinned by his mother, Missy Zern.
I'm actually gonna grab some water while I'm waiting. I'm thirsty.
We want to thank everybody for supporting us through nursing school. This pin is just as much ours as it is yours, or yours as it is ours. Yeah. Now, a special surprise from our faculty.
Congratulations, class of 2014. You're going to be the greatest class ever. I'm so proud of you. Have a great career. I'll be with you in thoughts and prayers as you look for your new positions. And keep in touch. We'd like to know what's happening with you in the future. God bless.
Good luck, my senior friends. It's certainly a bittersweet day to see our time together ending. You've been a wonderful class, and I wish you the best of luck as you embark on your nursing careers. I hope you visit us often, think of us often, and just have a wonderful rest of your journey in life. Good luck.
Seniors, what an awesome day for you all. I would just like to give you some words of advice. Be your authentic selves. Continue to take measures towards self-care, taking very good care of yourselves, as we know how important that is, and really come from a place of caring presence with each and every encounter that you have with patients and their families in your nursing career. Bless you all.
Just want to congratulate all of you for making it through the program. I've seen some of you from your very first clinical on peds and have just been so proud to see you guys grow and develop into these wonderful, amazing nurses. And I can't wait to see you as you are out in your jobs someday and helping out the future students. So good luck and congratulations.
Well, I just finished reading some of your capstone clinical journal entries, and I was struck by a theme that I saw running through that, and it's led to some words of encouragement. And that is that it's important to learn that we don't have to do everything by ourselves. And I saw that in your clinical journal entries. So my advice for you is identify who's on your team in any particular circumstance, and then call on them for help and for their particular expertise. That might be delegating to people, it might be consulting with peers for expert advice, it might mean, what's another example? Emotional support and safety if you have a difficult patient to care for. So I think the result of that is that we stay whole and the work actually ends up with a better outcome. The solutions are more creative and the work is a stronger piece of work when we're at the end of it. So that's my piece of advice. Good luck to all of you.
Congratulations, nursing class of 2014. It was a pleasure to have you as students this past fall and this spring in your public health courses. I'm confident that you all will be successful in whatever you choose to do in nursing, and I wish you well with your future career. Bye.
Congratulations, seniors, you finally made it. On behalf of myself and all the mannequins that have been part of your journey, job well done. Remember your interventions. Don't forget what you've learned. Inspection, palpation, then auscultation. Remember the Benedictine values. Remember your roots. Remember to call your mothers and wear your seatbelts. And all congratulations. Make us proud.
Brooke Adams, where are you? Can you stand up? Shout out to Brooke Adams. She made the video. It was awesome. Thank you, Brooke. And Hannah. Hannah, you can stand up. Because you made the slideshow. She made the slideshow. All right. All right, now we would like to call Hannah again and Sam to the stage. She's fine. She's fine.
On behalf of the senior class, we would like to thank Mary and Shirley for everything you have done. Would you two please come forward? Come on, Mary.
Open up.
I would like to call Sister Bev to the stage to announce the recipients of the Sister Olivia Gowan Award.
The seniors who received the Sister Olivia Gowan Award were recognized last evening. I want to tell you a little bit about Sister Olivia Gowan. They each received a monograph about her life. Sister Olivia Gowan was a member of my community, a Benedictine sister who spent all of her career in nursing. And was really one of the 10 women recognized in nursing back in her era for their expertise, their excellence, and their leadership. They were in a published book about women in nursing. She was the power behind establishing the first Catholic 4-year baccalaureate program in nursing at the Catholic University in Washington, D.C. And that was during a time when women did not have the rights that men did on the campus of the Catholic University. She had to fight for that program. She was intellectually powerful. She was a leader in social reform, in political reforms that helped healthcare across the country. But she was also the classically absent-minded professor. In a conversation that she was having out in front of the School of Nursing building, which now bears her name, she, at the end of the long conversation, asked the person, "Was I coming out of the building or going out of the building when you saw me?" And then when she said, "Going in," she said, "Oh, that's good, then I've had lunch." I want to tell you the names of those who were recognized last evening. Would you please stand as I call your names? Hannah Alberg, Misha Bojajiva, Sophia Graham, Lindsay Kingsbury, Dominic Lauer, Daniel Ledeen, Daniel Porter, Mariah Siss, Samuel Swanson, Caitlin Wegerson, and Rebecca Wilmot. Please help me in congratulating these honorees. May you be blessed by Sister Olivia Gowan's wisdom, her leadership ability, and also by her humor and humility. She didn't take herself too seriously. Thank you.
And finally, here's Professor Shirley with closing words.
It's interesting that after we've heard the different people speak today, that without talking to each other in the hallway about what our comments might include, that we all threaded our comments with humor. And so in closing, we're going to engage in just a little bit of humor. When Kayla asked me to give the closing today, I sighed in relief. One, it didn't have to be as long as the keynote. Two, it means I don't have to decide with my husband whether we take the ice auger or the boat for fishing opener. We're staying home. It also means that we can celebrate Mother's Day this year, and I won't be cleaning fish. Okay. When Kayla asked me if I would offer closing, I said that I was thrilled to be invited, and I must have made some comment on why it might be that I was included. And she said, "Well, we remember your humor." And so I thought I would frame my comments around the word humor, starting with H. As we heard earlier, nursing is a work of the heart. It's also art, it's also science, but our heart has to be in it to cure, to heal, to help the others. And hopefully we have helped you with that. You, in this mnemonic, means understanding. This means you'll spend time developing clear and rational thoughts about the care you will provide your patients. I will warn you, this can be harder on Saturdays after Friday night at Margaritaville. Be prepared. You don't just take a wag the wild-ass guess at a problem or assume. Your solutions will be based in evidence. We've taught you about that. You've just begun that journey of lifelong learning. You can also mean, uh-oh. This represents that infiltrated IV, or you discover a patient lying on the floor and not in the bed. Remember, breathe in, breathe out. You know it as the term center. We've heard it throughout, again, the threads of today. Like the H and U, the letter M has multiple meanings. It's not about the occasional moral distress you might find yourself in as a result of difficult decisions in the care you're giving. It's all about me. The all about me is the self-care that you will need to engage in. Like in the banking world, pay yourself first and then pay the other bills. This means to play. For each of you, this is something different. For me, this is reading a trashy novel or going to an antique store. It is not, let me repeat, it is not getting up at the crack of dark to go fishing on opening day. I say, get up at 8 o'clock, have a leisurely breakfast, go out in the boat with the trashy novel, and come back and eat steak. That brings us to the letter O in the dialogue. Boy, I struggled for a long time on what this letter should represent. It only came to me this morning, consistent with my just-in-time approach to teaching. They were discussing what 6 things teachers wish they knew when they first became teachers. One of the participants wished they knew more about organizing. He described it as something akin to herding cats. This was my aha moment. O means organization. This will be the linchpin in your career. There is organization as it relates to yourself. Buy a planner and use it. Remember, the first thing you have to write down is to play. There is the organization, which means the place you will go to work or the agency you work for. Then in your career as a professional, you should become a member of an organization that represents your choice of practice. This may mean the American Nurses Association, or it may mean the Organization of Nurse Executives, because we raised you up to all be leaders. This brings us to the letter R in the message. Can you guess what it stands for? I mean, really? It can only mean one thing. You are about to become the registered nurse. There is one thing I distinctly remember about my penning ceremony. I had returned to the dorm to change clothes and join my family, as many of you will do when you leave this celebration. I was walking down the hall. It happened to be by myself. Others were hither and thon, not anywhere. When I had the realization, damn, I was a nurse. Parents, did you know you sent your student to college to learn, yet again, the alphabet? Students, just as you take those other letters of the alphabet we taught you into practice, you know the ones, the ABCs, which will help you rescue and resuscitate patients, and the OPQRSTU, which will help you talk to your patient about what is wrong with them. I hope you will take some HUMOR with you as well. On a long night shift, scrape some plaster off the casting material, mix it with some betadine, and send it to the lab as a stool specimen for culture and analysis. Or send the unsuspecting student to Central Supply for some sterile fallopian tubes. See what comes back to you. I challenge each of you to find the humor in what you do. Congratulations.
Our script. She stole our script. A big thank you to Shirley and Mary and our entire faculty for being there for us throughout nursing school. We would also like to thank the members of the pinning ceremony committee for their hard work and dedication in making this ceremony a success.
I think we should stand up. The pinning ceremony
Pinning
committee
ceremony?
should.
Okay.
Come on, guys. Woo! Adam. Now, please join us after this in the Benedictine Commons in the Science Building, and your students can lead you there, for refreshments. And soon-to-be nurses, please wear your pin tomorrow at graduation. Thank you, everyone, for coming. And class of 2014, we survived!